Oh, good morning. Welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead. I'm Stacey if this is the first time we're meeting, and welcome to my cold, chilly winter's kitchen. It's pretty cold today and we're expecting a cold front to come over New Zealand, and it's going to bring snow. We don't get snow where we live. We live in the North Island. I would love to live on a farm that had snow in the winter, and I've always wanted to have a white Christmas sometime. Maybe before I leave this earth, I might get a white Christmas. Anyway, today I'm going to be spending the day in the kitchen canning all things tomatoes. You may or may not be aware, it depends on how long you've been watching me for, is that I invested in huge size 10 cans of diced tomatoes and juice probably 2 years ago, and I managed to get them back then for like $4.65 a tin. I hate to imagine how much they are now. I would say upwards of $8 at least. And I've got I've got 4 cans here, and I've probably got about another 8. So I'm like, got to start using them up. I have no canned tomato products in my pantry, and I plan to grow so many different tomatoes this year. So I want to get through these canned ones before I start making fresh tomato products again. So today we are going to make a pizza sauce, a pasta type sauce, so that I can chuck it, if you know, like I love spaghetti pasta with just a plain tomato sauce with herbs and stuff in it, and just have that with some cheese on top. Love that. So at the moment, if I want to make anything with tomatoes, I've got to open up one of these huge cans, and then I've got to find some other way to use up the rest of the tin. So we're making pizza sauce, a pasta sauce, and then we're going to just can up some plain diced tomatoes. Yeah, I understand you might say, oh well, like you've already got the diced tomatoes in cans, but as I said, like if I just want a jar of diced tomatoes to go into something, then I need, I don't want to waste the whole can. So we're going to can up those 3 things today. I also have some bulk store-bought lemon juice, because you need shop bought so that you know the acidity level. I am doing all the recipes out of my home preserving complete book of home preserves. So I've got all those, but I also invested in this book, which I've been wanting for years, and managed to get it off Amazon. It's been bound in this plastic. It cost me about $84. I don't know if that included shipping as well. So yeah, to get it to New Zealand it was really expensive, but I've got it now, and it's got so many beautiful recipes in there. And it's got the oven roasted marinara, which I've been wanting to make this for a long time, but I don't have fresh tomatoes, so I'm going to save that recipe for when it's our summer and I can use fresh tomatoes. Jars, one of the reasons why I haven't done this before now is because I'm running super low on jars, and Briscoe's had a sale last weekend where everything was 50% off. So I went online because it's easier than me driving all the way into town and finding out that there's none on the shelves. So I went online, and what are these called? These I think they're Erin mason jars. They're 500 mils. Although in saying that, they say they're 500 mils, but I know that they're not 500 mils. The 500 mils, it's a 2-piece lid, would get you right up there, and it might be, but I have a feeling it's less. So there's 250 mils right up there. So you can't tell me that another 250. So yeah, so but that's fine because these jars, and it's a 2-piece lid, these jars were $11 normal price, so I got them for half price. Or actually I think it was even less, more than half price, because I think I got them for $5. And then I grabbed 12 of those, and then Simon Galt, who's a chef over here, I got his 500ml jars, and they were $10 each, but half price. So they were around $5. And I've also got lots of 1-piece lug lid jars that I can use as well. But yeah, I wanted specifically this type and size of jar. So I recommend these. The only thing I would recommend doing is don't use the cheap lids that they give you. Save these for in your pantry. And I use proper good lids that I know aren't going to fail. So I use 4 jars, and I have AG ones, I have Good Life ones, and I've also brought Superb. Now I brought the Superb ones late last year, I think it was, and I haven't tried them yet, but I hear wonderful things about them. So we might even give the Superb lids a go today. Anyway, I've got my AG preserving pan, so we'll heat up the diced tomatoes. We'll do the diced tomatoes first so that they can be, all of these recipes are water bath canned, but I prefer to steam can, and I steam can using my Presto canner, so I will show you how to do that. I do have loads of other videos as well that will show you how to do it. So I've got a couple of pots here. I will get my station all ready, but we will do the diced tomatoes first, and we're going to heat those up thoroughly, and then we'll get them steam canning. And then while they are steam canning, I can start on making the other sauces. The first thing I'm going to do is open up all these cans, and then I think I will do, I'll do 2 cans of just plain diced tomatoes. Now this holds 2.5 kilos of tomatoes, so hopefully they will fit all into this big pot here. Alright, so I'm just going to do that. So, giving the lid a wipe down. And I usually thin it down a little bit as well, because it's in tomato juice. So if I thin it down a little bit, then it gives me more, and oh, it stopped going around. Oh, these jars, these cans are so hard to open. I think I would have run a marathon, not just open a can. Alright, pour this all in. You see how thick it is? I will rinse these out. Just trying to decide how many I want. I think I will do two cans. A little bit of a dent there, but if the can makes a sound like a jar does when you open it, then you know that it's still being sealed okay. So let's have a listen. There, did you hear that? That means that the can is still safe. If I didn't hear that, I would have chucked all of this out. Right, I'm going to add a little bit of water and rinse these out. Right, with just the plain tomatoes, I'm not going to use lemon juice. I will use a bit of citric acid. These have already been canned before in proper cans, and it does have citric acid in there already, but because I've changed it by putting some water in there just to thin it down a little bit, I will add just some extra citric acid just to doubly make sure that it's still safe. Right, that's all I want to thin it down by. You know, I could add some garlic in there, but I just want it plain in case, you know, I don't want something with garlic in it. So all I'm going to do with this is pop it on the back element there and move my stand mixer so it can get little tomato splats on it, and I'm going to turn it on onto high, and then get that nice and hot, and I will get all the jars in my dishwasher and then get all my jars nice and hot, and then I'll show you how I use my Presto canner as a steam canner. Right, I will look in this ball in my ball book to find out how much citric acid I need to put in for the 500ml jars. So I'll have a look at that as well. So here's my citric acid, and I just brought it in bulk, and it lasts forever. 1/4 teaspoon for 500ml jars. I think it cost me $10 to get them sent. So I would have used that and probably some more in petrol just to go and get them. There you go, found the packing slip. So the Erin preserving jars, yes, they do say 500ml. They were $4.39 each, down from $11. And the Simon Galt one also say 500ml, and they were $5 each. So big savings. So just look out for those good Briscoe's specials. Alright, so I'm going to get these all into the dishwasher. I will use these Erin ones for just the plain diced tomatoes because of the size not being true to size. I'm just taking the sticker off as well. I'll get as much off it as I can anyway. This is interesting. These Simon Galt ones, it came with care instructions, and it says never heat jars or lids in oven or dishwasher. Well, why would you not be able to wash a jar in the dishwasher? That's a bit weird. So I'm not sure how these jars are actually going to go. I guess I'm about to find out. I don't think I've bought these ones before. I've definitely bought the Erin ones. I wouldn't pressure can with these. No way. But for steam canning or water bath, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But when you're pressure canning, yeah, because I don't know, they're very sturdy and they're heavy. But that's, yeah, I would use my Good Life and my AG jars, and I do have some ball jars as well. I would use them for pressure canning. Right, in the meantime, I'm just keeping an eye on this so that it doesn't scorch or burn on the bottom, and we might as well get the pizza sauce ready. I'm going to make that in this 6 litre preserving pan, and it says 13 cups of tomato puree, bottled lemon juice, oregano, pepper, salt and garlic powder. I'll probably put some basil in there as well. Basil, Anything else? Yeah, because you can put more herbs in it. You just can't change the, like, you can't add extra vegetables. Yeah, so I'll definitely put some more herbs in it. And for 13 cups, it's only got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Well, I want a bit more garlic than that, so I will also just change that up a little bit as well. But of course, you know, you do as you please. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another can and see how many cups. I will probably, maybe I should blend it first. I'll use my stick blender, blend it first, and then that will tell me how many cups of puree I've got. So I've just got a different pot. Again, I'll just give it a quick little rinse. And I've got my stick blender. I'm just going to puree all of this. Right, 13 cups I need. One. Right, that did 10, and that is almost halfway full. So now I've got a decision to make. I need the 9 litre of this because I do want to double it. I might have to get my other bigger pot out. Right, I'm going to take this off the heat because that's piping hot, and I just want it to not be too hot. And then I decided I'm going to make 1.5 of the recipe for the pizza sauce, because this pot, as you can see, it's almost full. So I think 1.5 will be fine, and that will do me quite well in pizza sauce. Just looking at it, it'll last quite a while. So I'm going to start heating that up, and then we need to add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so the instructions says place half the tomato puree in a large stainless steel saucepan. I'm just going to get my stirring occasionally, bring to the boil over high heat, stirring occasionally, maintaining a constant boil. Add remaining tomato puree 1 cup at a time. Stir in the lemon juice, oregano, pepper, salt and garlic powder. Boil hard, stirring frequently until mixture is the consistency of thin commercial sauce. Well, this is already, it's on the thicker side, which is good. It's what I would want for my pizza sauce. Yeah, ladle into hot jars, rah. So I'm going to add, I've got everything all in the same pan, and I'm just going to slowly bring this up to a boil. And once I've done that, then I will add the rest of the ingredients. My jars should be just about finished, and then I will ladle the hot plain diced tomatoes into those jars. And in the meantime, I'm just going to get my pressure canner ready on this front element here. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you know, a lot of you will be starting to get your tomato harvests in. What kind of products do you like to, yeah, obviously if you grow tomatoes or have a veggie garden, what kind of tomato products do you like to can up or preserve? I get told off sometimes by Kiwi preservers because I call it canning instead of preserving. Over here it's traditionally called preserving, but I've learnt all my preserving, apart from jams and relishes I've been making since in my 20s, I've learnt how to can, like water bath canning and all that, by watching American YouTubers really, so it's just habit now that I call it canning. So I don't mean to offend any Kiwis when I call it canning. It's just what my brain's used to now. You know, and in New Zealand, yeah, things are done a lot differently, and people have been doing it, generations have been doing it. Our grandmothers and, you know, sometimes our grandfathers have been doing it for generations, and we just do things differently. So yeah, yeah, so sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody. It's just because I learnt off YouTube. Because our jams and our relishes, we've never water bath canned them or anything, or jams, yeah, because the sugar and the vinegar is what preserves. I digress anyway, so I'll bring you back when this is heated through, and when I go to jar up my diced tomatoes. Okay, so these will just come out of the dishwasher, so they're super hot, and this is just the plain diced tomatoes. Headspace, half an inch headspace. Right, the citric acid, and we want 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm just going to, my debubbler broke, so stir in that citric acid and sort of debubble at the same time. This one's got a little bit too much in it. And I've got some white vinegar. And here is the Superb lids. They're quite thick and they've got a lot of seal on that, so that's good. So finger tight means, so get 3 fingers and until it's tightened. You don't want it too tight because then the air can't escape. So I've got 3 quarts of water down the bottom, or 3 litres of water, and I've got a a spring form ring down there, and then I've got my why can't I think what it's called? Tray. Got my tray down the bottom. Okay, and then hopefully, let's have a look. Oh yeah, that'll fit 2 layers just fine. See how many more we get. This jar here, one of the reasons why you not only clean off the rims, but while you're doing it, you can feel any bumps or anything. And as I was doing this, I could feel that it changed. So it's not a crack, but it's all bumpy just on the inside here, but you can feel it slightly on the rim. So this jar might not seal, but we'll give it a go and I'll keep an eye on it. And if it doesn't seal, I'll just pop it in the fridge. So what I'll do is I'll get my Sharpie and I'm just going to put a sad face on it. that's all I ended up having left. So I'm just going to pop that into this blended mix for that I got left over for the pizza sauce, because we've still got the pasta sauce to make. So there we've got 12 500ml can jars of diced tomatoes. So now I'm going to pop the lid on. Just going to give it a quick check to make sure everything is looking good on my canner. Nothing's loose and I can see through my little venting pipe. Right, what we're now going to do is I've got it on high and it's heating up that 3 litres of water, and it's going to create steam in here. We don't need the little weight to go on when you're steam canning using your Presto canner. All you want, and you're also not going to be building up any pressure. If you were to put the weight on, then you are going to be building up pressure and then you'll be pressure canning, but we're steam canning. So we're going to wait for this little steam vent to come up, and then we're then going to start the timer. And for plain tomatoes, I'll have to have a basic, we'll call it basic tomato sauce. 40 minutes. I'm not sure if you can see very well. The lighting's not that great. I am going to pop in some garlic as well. And then I'm going to put in a tablespoon of oregano and a tablespoon of basil. These are all dried. Some salt. And some black pepper. Now I'm just going to let this simmer for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to taste it and see if I want to put anything else in here. Oh, I've got the lemon juice, 3/4 of a cup. Might put a little bit of brown sugar in this, but I'll just see and I'll have a taste. Right, I'm just going to have a taste and see if I want to add more herbs or a little bit of sweetness. Woo! That is super tart. It definitely needs some sweetness. I wouldn't want that on my pizza. It's perfectly safe to add sugar. Sugar is a natural preserver. Right, I've ended up adding 2 cups of brown sugar into this sauce, and a little bit more salt. So much better. Now that's a better pizza sauce. It's so much lemon. I thought at the time, I know, yeah. Alright, this is, I can see steam is coming out of here now. We just need to wait until this pops up, and then once it does, we will put the timer on for, I'll turn it down slightly so that it's not a rapid boil, but it's still got a steady stream of steam. As I said, I do have a more comprehensive video showing you all about steam canning, so I will link that in the description and up here somewhere. And in the meantime, I'm going to look at the Italian style tomato sauce. Again, it uses puree. It's got onions, celery, carrot, lemon juice again, garlic, black pepper and hot pepper flakes, which I won't add. So we'll make up that soon. So that's come up now. Steady stream. I'm going to turn it down to what I know is my sweet spot, and the timer for 40 minutes. You don't want vigorous steam, you just want a steady stream. In the meantime, I'm bringing the pasta sauce up to a simmer, and then we're going to simmer that for a while to thicken up. I'm also just chopping up the celery and the onions and the carrots for the pasta sauce. I have got the next pot of pureed sauce ready, and it's the Italian style tomato sauce. So it called for 8 cups and I've doubled it. So 8 cups of puree, 2/3 of a cup of chopped onion, 2/3 of a cup of chopped celery, half a cup of grated chopped carrot, garlic, bottled lemon juice, salt, pepper, and I'm probably going to add balsamic vinegar because I quite like the taste of balsamic vinegar in my pasta sauce, and no doubt I'll add some brown sugar to this one as well, but as I said, I've doubled it. The pizza sauce is simmering away and it's thickening up nicely. So yeah, so I've pre-diced everything, chuck it all in and start heating this up. The diced tomatoes have 26 minutes to go. So that's boiling away, hopefully you can see that. And then I've got all the ingredients in my pasta sauce. So I did half vinegar and half balsamic vinegar because I like the taste of the balsamic acid. It just gives it a whole depth of flavour. And I've got to add some salt and some brown sugar to this as well. Start heating that up, and once the veggies are cooked we will blitz that. Right, 40 minutes is up for the diced tomatoes, and we'll just wait for this to pop down. As you can see, the dial never went over 0, and the pasta sauce is looking really good and bubbling away. And sorry, that's the pizza sauce, and then the pasta sauce is in this one here. And just to the left of my canner I've got a nice thick mat to put my diced tomatoes on. I'm actually going to need quite a lot of bench space for all of these preserves that I'm doing. So once this pops down, I'm going to leave the canner for 10 minutes, and then I will open the lid slightly and then leave it another 5 minutes, and then I'll open the lid fully. I'm going to need more space, that's for sure. Here's the jar with the funny lid, rim. Pretty jars. I've got a little bit of siphoning, so there's a couple of things that could be. I brought the water up too fast, or I overfilled a jar. So I will need to reset. I've taken the pizza sauce off the boil, and I just heard one clink, and I need to reset this canner again with fresh water, fresh 3 litres of water, and then I will start jarring up the pasta sauce. Right. Got my quart jar, hot water. That's the springform pan that I use. More thunks. Good to hear it. That's what you want to hear. Right, so I've done that. Grabbed that. Right, now I shall get my station ready to jar up the pasta, not pasta, I keep saying pasta, the pizza sauce. Did you hear it? These make a much thunk sort of a sound rather than ting, boom. You just leave them. So that's got water on it. Don't worry, don't wipe it off. See how you can see that something's siphoned a little bit. Donk. That's a different sound. Shows you how much thicker that they are. I've got 500 gram hexagon jars, and they have lug lids. So this is what I'm gonna put my pizza sauce into. Still going to, it's interesting actually, because just debubble the other smaller jars. Well, they say they're 500. It's interesting because they take 3 ladles full, and this is taking more. Need to debubble this a bit better because of the hexagon shape. Thunk. Then I'm just going to pop the lid on nice and tight. So they're not going to double stack. So I've taken the ring out. Ooh, jeepers. I've taken the ring out. I've put one down. I opened this because I dropped it. Now I'm just going to redo. Man, that's hot. Redo the rim, and they will be sitting in a little bit of water in the bottom, and that's absolutely fine. So I have ended up with 9 of this size, which is a true 500ml, and I did 1 and that was perfect. Perfect amount. What I'm also going to do is write how many cans of tomatoes it took per recipe and what I did in pencil, so that I can remember the next time I go to make it, because I still have heaps of those cans left, so I'll have to make up another lot at some other point. So yeah, make sure that my lid is all good to go again and nothing has changed since I last used it, and then I'll pop the lid on and process these for 40 minutes as well. And on checking this, I can see it is slightly, I can't see through it properly. So 1, I'm cleaning around the vent, and 2, I'm going to get a skewer and just poke it down there and see what's lodged down there. If I can't get it out that way, then I will just take it apart and pop some water through it. But yeah, give this a bit of a clean. Even blow on it. That did the trick. It's never done it before, so, but that's just a prime example of why you should check it every single time, you know, your lid. So now I can see there through there perfectly. I just had a look at the vegetables in the pasta sauce, and they're soft enough now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whiz them up and start cooking it down, and you know, because you want a bit of a thicker pasta sauce, not too thick obviously, and then I will taste it and see that there's enough balance of flavors. What else? Yeah, I think they've all sealed. And then I'm going to have a tidy up as well. Just wanted to tell you that I just checked these lids, and some of these bands were a little bit too loose, so you can, after they've come out, you can tighten it down. It's fine to do that, but once 24 hours is up, and you go to check to see if they've all sealed, you take the rings off, because you don't want a false seal. It's the only time that you can do it is to tighten it up, is to do it then. I've got one that I'm not sure is going to seal. And also, please be careful when you're using the stick blender with hot liquids. I got some splatters on here and it's burnt me a little bit. So please be careful. So basically, I'm just going to, I've tried the pasta sauce, and I like it just the way it is. I don't need to do anything to it. And I'm just going to repeat the process. So I will just show you it all once everything is out of the canner and show you the finished results. That's the diced tomatoes, pizza sauce, and pasta sauce. This one didn't get filled, so I will be putting that in the fridge. Pong. Thank you so much for joining me today. A full day in the kitchen, preserving some tomatoes, and I really appreciate that you come and spend some time out of your day to spend it with me. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Alright, bye for now.